As you can see, we are at the point in this job where we're ready to install this door. All the framing's been completed, we're sheathed, I've dried in my rough opening. I have some 1/2-inch spacer blocks with 3/4 inch backing, and that's just gonna serve as a locator when I go to tip this door frame in. As you can see, we've accepted delivery of the door. I have the pivot box installed, it's shimmed, it's supported, it's located, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I did that. So the first thing that I did is I mark a center line, a reference line on this pivot box so that I can line that up with my reference lines that I have on my rough framing. So I have those center lines marked, and I'm going to position this right on those lines. As you can see, that recess is bigger than our pivot box. Again, this is giving us some room for play, some room for adjustment down the road. So now that I have this in place, I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to mark the perimeter of this box. And all this is serving as is a reference mark so that I know exactly where I want to put my leveling screws underneath of this. So you could shim this with wood shims. I'm going to choose to use screws because I find it gives me a little bit better adjustability. And those screws will be put in place and then they'll support this box until we pour that epoxy. Another thing that you want to verify is that the top of this box is flushing out with your finished floor. So again, we have 3/4 subfloor, 3/4 oak flooring. So I know when I shim this, I want to make sure that this box is close to this elevation. There are grub screws within this pivot box that you can do some minor adjustments, but the goal for me is to get this set as close to possible so that we don't have to use those grub screws for any major adjustments. So just make note of this when you're adjusting the level of this box, that you are nailing that elevation for your finished floor. So now I have that outside of my pivot box marked. I know that I can get my screws in each corner and locate them precisely where I need them to get this elevation set. So I'm guessing at this point where these are gonna go, and we'll put it back up there and we'll check what our elevation looks like. Set that box on here. There is a leveling bubble on here. I also check it with a torpedo level. This should get me relatively close. And I also, again, want to make sure that my height is correct. So I'm really close with my height now, but I am out of level right now. So I'm going to have to start adjusting these screws to get myself level. This is going to take a little bit of time up and down getting this set exactly where I want it. And then once it's set where I want it, I'll lock this box in place with screws on the exterior. So once I get that close, my bubble is in the center here on the vial. I want to make sure that that's not rocking. So it's level, and then you want to adjust those screws so that this box is nice and stable on there and it's not rocking back and forth. I also can check with my torpedo level if this seems that it's finicky for any reason. You can put your torpedo level on there on this inside component of this box, and you can make sure that you're level. So it's going to give you a little bit better indication. Like I could see I have to come up a touch with this right here. So I'm level in all directions now. The last thing I want to check is that my height is correct and that this box is flushing out with my finished floor. Inside of here, again, there's some grub screws and then this locking mechanism that you can loosen the locking mechanism up, which is these 4 larger hex screws. Loosen them up. You then use the smaller adjusting screws, which are here. You can get this piece up and down, adjust the height of it, and then re-lock it in place with those locking mechanisms. But I'm looking pretty good as far as my elevation with this box, with my finished floor height. So the last thing for me would be to double check that I'm exactly where I want to be as far as my center line measurements go. that I'm nice and square in that opening with regard to my framing and my rim joist. Everything's looking good. And at this point, the subfloor would go in, but at this point, this opening is ready for epoxy. So to guarantee that that's not going to move once this is all set and in place, I would take some more screws and I'm gonna put them right on the sides of these and just snug them up on that box to lock that in place so it doesn't move anywhere. And that's just gonna prevent any sort of lateral movement. The nice thing about screws when you're doing all of this is, again, it gives you some adjustment. At this point, we're locked in where we need to be as far as level goes, front to back, left to right. So we would be ready to pour the epoxy underneath all of this to completely lock this in place and have full structural support underneath this entire assembly. We're at the point in this project where I'm getting ready to epoxy this pivot box in place. Once I do that, there's no moving. So in order to make sure that this is exactly where I want it, I have to get that frame and dry fit it into that opening. Prior to fitting that into the opening, I need to make sure that it flushes out with our finished floor. So I fabricated this piece of 3/4 inch subfloor and I cut this opening the exact size of this pivot box. And what this is going to do, aside from locating that pivot box where we want it, is it's going to serve as a base for that threshold or that sill to sit on to flush out with our floor. So once that larger sill goes in, our hardwood flooring has to slide underneath of it to create that seamless threshold. There's also going to be a freestanding deck on the outside of this home, which we'll frame up later. I need to make sure that whatever decking product I'm using also flushes out with that. So now that I have this all in place, I know that my threshold can sit on top of these. It's going to flush out with the pivot box with both of our finished substrates. So I am ready to grab that frame and tip it into this opening to make sure that everything lines up. I'm going to set this frame inside of this rough opening. Now you can see why I have those gauge blocks in place. Again, we want this frame here to flush out with our finished drywall that's not on yet. So it needs to protrude a 1/2 inch past our rough framing. So I have a 1/2 inch spacer block on that's representing that finished drywall that'll get installed later. So I'm going to check the same thing on the bottom to make sure that we're set roughly the same distance in. I'm just using, again, a piece of 1/2 inch to gauge that. I'm close now. My top and my bottom legs of this door are set a 1/2 inch in past that framing, again, to flush out with the drywall. And then I just want to make sure that I'm roughly centered within this rough opening in case our framing is out of plumb or out of square, that we can adjust the door and make sure that the door is perfect. The next thing, which is for me the most critical aspect of any door install, window install, is making sure that your sill or your threshold, whatever it's sitting on, is perfectly level. So I'm going to check that here now. Looks like we're pretty good. The reason I want to make this perfectly level is if it's not, it's going to send our door legs out of plumb, out of square, so this needs to be precise. I also, at this point, want to make sure that our elevation is correct. So I'm going to take this 3/4 inch flooring. I'm going to make sure that I have that seamless transition at the threshold, that it fits underneath of here, that I can hide that transition, and also that it's not too high up. And then I'll also double check that we have the same thing with our finished decking. Have a nice tight fit and create that seamless transition. The last thing that I want to double check is that this boring within the metal threshold is correctly placed around this pivot pin. So I know that I have an equal tolerance around here. At this point, I feel confident that this door frame matches our pivot box and that I'm ready to pull this frame and I can epoxy this pivot box into place because everything's exactly where it needs to be. So I have those screws set in the bottom and they are dictating the elevation for this box. So I took anchored adhesive epoxy and I filled that just above those screws so that when I dropped this box in place, it's squeezed out and it has full structural support underneath of it. Next, I take my screw gun and I'm snugging up those screws and they're going to locate my pivot box exactly where I intended it, where I had it set before. So now laterally I'm where I need to be, front to back I'm where I need to be, and I'm nice and level, which is I checked. There is a bubble on this, but I also checked that with my torpedo level to make sure that everything's good to go. Nothing moved from the last time I had pulled this out. So I'm good to go now. I'm going to take the rest of this epoxy and I'm going to fill the rest of this void up to the top, and that's going to fully lock this pivot box assembly into our subsill, our structure, our subflooring, and everything else, so this can never move or go anywhere.